Washington Football Team Nation, what is going on? I figured we got to switch it up a little bit since now you can see us visually. So I won't have the enthusiastic Washington Football Team Nation like we used to when we first started. So I'll try to switch it up a little bit, but we'll keep it going.
Okay.
Todd, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I liked it. I kind of liked the switch up. It was cool. It was nice. Great job, man.
You've been switching up a lot, so I said I figure I'll switch up the introduction. So I'm playing around with it here with the next couple of pods and just see what sticks.
All right, that's good because you're switching up the introduction, and if you're watching on YouTube, I've been switching up the layout and the graphics a lot. This one's going to be different too. I obsess over this stuff sometimes, and I just started playing with it, and I was like, I want to try it like this, and so this episode is going to be different from the other one. So I hope people like it. If you care enough to comment on how you prefer it, feel free to do that. But I like the switching up and kind of figuring stuff out. You never know what you're going to get each episode. You don't know the layout. You don't know what Tay's going to say at the beginning.
Hey, you got to keep them on their toes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to stay fresh. You don't want to get dry or stale. But so yeah, it's kind of fun, kind of figuring it out. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. My fiance, she comes in town today, so get her from the airport, and got a lot of ripping and running to do.
I can imagine. You're you're about almost exactly 3 months, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably gonna fly by in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
In a good way. Okay. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say first of all, thank you to everyone who's been watching on YouTube. Because that's been kind of like large numbers of views for us to have kind of just started putting stuff on there. And so really appreciate that because that's a different pool of people, I think, than that would listen to our podcast. So it's like a lot of new people. So we really appreciate it. Glad you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. I assume you enjoy it and glad you enjoy it if you do. And we'll just kind of keep this stuff coming along with other stuff as well. I think it's kind of good that we have a diverse channel where we do this sort of thing. We like commentary, we talk, and then kind of show like some like cut ups of stuff, and then also do some breakdown stuff. I think that's good. I know that's what I would like if I was looking for stuff. So today, before we just go into it, let's just talk about our sponsors real quick. Hot Chikn Kitchn in Woodbridge, Virginia. Near Potomac Mills. Look them up if you're in the area, if you're local, if you're planning to come visit, if you're coming to games, if you're coming up 95. If you are driving up 95 for a game this year, you need to take exit, what is it? I think it's 156 on 95, Potomac Mills, and go to Hot Chikn Kitchn on your way to the game or probably from the game, because if you're coming in the morning or whatever. Either way, stop at Hot Chikn Kitchn and try one of their sandwiches. Pick your heat level. They have one that will destroy your mouth. They have one that's okay for the average person. But try Hot Chikn Kitchn. It's fantastic. You love it. Me and Tay 100% vouch for it. We'd be there every day if it was not in Woodbridge because we're in Alexandria. And then Dun Pro Financial. Get your credit fixed. Give them a call. Email them, reach out. They'll have the link. We'll have the link in the bio and description below. Check them out. Get your credit fixed for a great price. Today,
one quick thing before we get started.
Okay.
It gets kind of off topic, but I just feel like the need to say it. So we were at the house the other day and we were asking about like what are some of like your biggest fears, and stuff like that. And it took me a while to think of it, because I'm really not. I'm not scared of heights for the most part.
Okay. But
what I'm terrified of is, and I as the question was asked, and I'm starting to see the transition like throughout this week, is birds. Like extremely terrified. So for example, like right here by my office, the door I come in, it's a lamp, like a light,
Yeah.
And through the course of last week, I just see this bird just building this nest. It's never been a nest there, but ever since I've moved here in this office, like the nest is just every day he's just coming in and the bird is just building and building and building. So we had the landscapers come by and I said, can you just please get that nest off the lamp? And so he comes in, he gets it off, knocks it off. So Saturday, the nest is gone. Right when I come in Sunday morning, the bird is building the nest again. And I'm just like, it only happens to me, man. And I'm just terrified of it. I walk by it and I'm just like looking at it and it's looking at me and it's just like we have this connection. And it's just like if you touch that nest, then it's gonna be so I say all that to say I just feel like I had to say that because
You
it's
got to
just
get it
like
off your chest.
yeah, I just had to
I
get it off my chest.
understand, man. And now what you have is you have people who can pray for you.
Yeah, right. Right.
Because you park by there every day, right?
Right.
Do you know can you tell what kind of bird it
I
is?
think it's a robin.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's the one with the orange
Yeah, this or like reddish orange boat.
yeah,
Yep. Okay, I
yeah,
think that's a robin. Man,
yeah.
man, I don't. He's just trying to set up something for his
Oh my goodness.
family, trying to build something for his future. I think
No.
I don't think he'll bother you. I don't think, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
You
Maybe
never know, right? You
maybe
never
he
know. You don't know
will.
what they're thinking.
Because maybe he'll think that you're walking past the nest. No, maybe you'll be just walking past the nest, but
Right.
maybe the bird will lay eggs. I don't know. And
Yeah.
she'll be like, "Hey, he's coming to attack my nest,"
You
and then
see what I'm
she'll attack
saying?
you. It's not impossible.
And then I feel like she knows that I'm the one that told the guy to knock the nest down. So she's like, I'm just like, oh my goodness. I
Because
think
you're
too much
probably
about
the
these
only
things.
person that she sees, so it had to
Exactly
be.
right. Right. Right.
I love though that like you knocked it off, and then she was like, "No,
No.
no, I'm building my nest here.
Yeah. Right.
Stop it!" It's at the top of that lamp.
Yes. The top of it.
Wow,
Yes.
man, that's fun stuff. At least
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Birds, okay, all right. I guess birds is never one that I think for me it's smaller stuff. I think animals I'm pretty much good on.
All right.
It's really just insects. The smaller they get, because like I guess in my mind still birds will fly away from you. Bugs will fly right into your face. Bugs don't
Yeah.
care.
They
They are
will.
not scared. They kind of match your energy.
Yeah. Dude.
That's what bothers me is like I try to kill them and then they attack me. It's like no, 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 no. But okay, man. I hope you get through that okay.
Oh man.
I
It'll
hope.
be all right.
Which is kind of funny. So, okay. So before I don't know what we're talking about, but since we're doing this, we had a storm a week ago on Monday night. I mean, you probably remember because
Yeah.
you live here. That storm like completely wiped away the cicadas.
Yes.
Like I think it ruined their plans. Like
Agree.
I don't think they were done with us yet.
No, they
That
weren't.
storm, it not only wiped out like the living ones, it like cleaned the streets, it
Yes.
cleaned the sidewalks. Their corpses are gone. Their bodies, like there's no more remains.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are gone. I haven't seen one since that storm, and I can't hear them outside anymore.
And yep, I think they're gone, man.
I
That,
think
storm.
that storm messed them up. They were like, "What is this?" Had like maybe they didn't get to finish, so maybe in 17 years it won't be as bad.
Yes,
'Cause,
yes.
that storm definitely did a number. Maybe another storm will come and take care of your robin.
I hope so, man. I hope so. That thing is.
Or you should maybe you should try to be nice to the bird and set up like a bird feeder.
I'm trying to spray some stuff up there, but it's
Oh
just
my
I'm just not good with birds, man. I'm not good with birds.
And you
at
kind
all.
of just figured that out.
Yes, and I've noticed it more and more. So
Gotcha. Okay.
weird.
All right. Hey, we all have our things. Okay. Was it maybe talking about chicken that reminded you of that?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So today, okay, I guess I texted you last night. Wanted to kind of do a video on this and just kind of talk it out because all right. So like Louis Riddick, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Sims, Rich Eisen. Those are the four that I know of. I'm sure there's more. They've all said Washington is hands down the favorite to win the division. They all said, I think Washington's winning the division. Some of them said, I think they can make it to the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. There's a lot of hype and expectations surrounding the defense and their potential and what they could become. There's a lot of expectations surrounding Ryan Fitzpatrick now and the offense. And I'm kind of looking at all of it, Tay, and I'm saying, like, I like that the team is kind of getting respect, right? It's not just kind of on the back burner, but I'm kind of wondering if the expectations and the hype are a little too high. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it and kind of express why I'm a little worried, why I kind of feel like it might be a little too high. So first of all, I just want to know, do you think that the expectations and the hype are getting a little too high or not?
No, I'm going to say that I think it's right where it should be. I mean, at
Okay.
the end of the day, we're still the division champs. And
Mm-hmm.
whether it was winning 7 games, whether it was winning 4 games, whether it was whatever, I mean, you're still the division champs. And I think it's appropriate. I mean, we're not getting, I mean, it's as advertised. I mean, we have a great defense. We have a great head coach who's very popular amongst the NFL circles. Um, Offense is expanding and the offense is growing and another year in the system and discipline and culture. And I think I mean, I think you rightfully so, and I think
Rightfully
it's
so.
different as opposed to other years, but that's just me. How about you?
So for me, I guess here's my thing. I try to like look at like last year, like okay, they won the division, like you said, but it was the worst division in the NFL. Like, all right, okay. I guess I tweeted this out yesterday, and the defense. I guess I'll start with the defense because the defense, like, absolutely hands like it should be good for sure. But my concern is the last time we saw them against the Buccaneers, they gave up 31 points with
Right.
with an offense that was playing well. The wins, they won 7 games. The QBs that they played against when they won were Carson Wentz, who was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL last year. Andy Dalton, who was not very good with a lot of talent around him. Ben DiNucci, don't need to say anything. Burrow, who was good, who was playing well before he got hurt. Finley, who was terrible. Ryan Finley, after Burrow got hurt. Ben Roethlisberger, when the Steelers were kind of taking a downward trend. Nick Mullins, who was just playing like Nick Mullins. Jalen Hurts, who kind of had them in the game somewhat until Nate Sudfeld came in, and then the game was over. Those were your 7 wins. And then your 9 losses, you played against Kyler Murray, who was kind of running all over them. Baker Mayfield, who wasn't great, but Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, who just completely lit them up. Daniel Jones, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Teddy Bridgewater, and Tom Brady. And then I look at this season, and they're going to be playing a lot more of the quarterbacks, the types of quarterbacks that are in these losses that they had this past year. And I'm just worried that the defense. Well, it's not that I'm worried, but I just need to see them play the way they did against Nate Sudfeld and Ryan Finley and Ben DiNucci. I need to see them do that against Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan and Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at because I just like the expectations are getting high, and then I don't want it all to kind of come not crumbling down. But if they go 7-9 again, then that's a letdown. And to me, if they go 7-9 again, I would have liked more improvement, but that won't be a significant letdown for me because I don't think that they were really supposed to go 7-9 last year. So I think for me, part of the concern is will this defense really be as good as it should be? Because I'm worried that they might not be. I don't know. Are you worried about that?
No, see, my thing is they took it. Previous years. We're losing those games, whether it's Andy Dalton, Mike DiNucci.
Mm-hmm.
So they took the first step. The first step is beating the team.
I mean,
that
yeah,
you
beat
should
the
beat,
bad ones for sure.
beat the
Yeah,
bad ones, and then you take that next step this year when you're going to have to beat the good quarterbacks in order
right.
to have a good record. And I mean, obviously, a lot plays into that. Russell Wilson, he didn't really
I
kill
mean, yeah,
us.
no, he didn't.
I
He
mean,
didn't. The offense
offense
was
was
a problem in
terrible.
lots of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't. I think that's all kind of subjective, if
Mm-hmm.
you would. Um, Obviously, the record shows that we did
Yeah.
lose to. I mean, at the end of the day, we did lose to those quarterbacks.
Right.
But I think a lot comes into that, and I think they're ready to take the next step. I hope Ron is showing them the same list that you showed and say, look, we could take care of these,
Mm-hmm.
these third string and these second string quarterbacks. But what can you do against where you set yourself apart from being the number 4 total yardage to number 1
Mm-hmm.
turnovers? Can we do it against the good quarterbacks? And I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the challenge this year. And I think another year in the system, a linebacker that can finally cover tight ends, secondary, which has gotten better, drastically better. I think Jack Del Rio, and I think they're going to be able to switch up schemes so they won't be as predictive this year, predictable as they were in previous last year. So I'm not really worried about that. I think if they can somehow pull out 2 or 3 of those wins, and then whoever the other quarterbacks we play this year, if we take care of the games we're supposed to take care of, then I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. I guess and this is one of my main questions that I want to see is because like the offense being really terrible in a number of those, really the Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. I mean, they came back, and then even the Teddy Bridgewater and the Russell Wilson games, the offense was pretty terrible in like all of those games. And the defense got better kind of after week 6. Week 6 was kind of the when they started going up. And I'm wondering, that was also when Kyle Allen came in at quarterback. But those first 4 losses they gave up, or first 5 losses, they gave up 30 points in each of them, I think. And then my question is, did they get better because of who they were playing? Was it because the offense got a little better? But they gave up 30 to Murray, Mayfield, Jackson, and Goff. Those 4 losses, and those 4 losses.
But I think part of that was because of quarterback play. The quarterback not knowing the time and distance and putting the defense in bad
You're talking about Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What and then the Rams game. I mean, and I agree. I just need to see it, I guess.
Yeah, we all need to see it
because that Bucs game. I mean, I know Tom Brady's the GOAT, and he goes to another level in the playoffs.
You gotta think. I mean, that's the first time in the playoffs. They don't know how to handle it. You know, so it's. I mean, it's a step in the right direction.
It is.
Okay. It's a step. You gotta. Obviously, you want to be like the Hawks and not have experience and kind of win and get to the Western Conference Final. But that's not every situation. You got to kind of go through the bumps and bruises, and that was a bump and bruise. And I think Jack will have these guys ready. I mean, like you said, that 31 hurt. I mean, it did hurt. You know, you thought you would have seen like a lot more, but at the end of the day, I mean, our linebacker. I mean, was it Brate who killed us?
Leonard Fournette was killing.
Fournette killed, yeah. So the run game is what I need to see.
Well, that's the big one because
that's the biggest one.
The Lions, DeAndre Swift, and then you had that, and then you had the Seahawks, and
you got torched in the run game.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's what I'm skeptical of right there.
Right. And then switching to the offense, Ryan Fitzpatrick, like it made sense, but I do kind of feel like lots of people have this kind of just notion that he is going to come in and play at a certain level. And I just don't know if it's fair to expect that. I know with the Dolphins last year, I know he was playing, had them doing well before he got replaced for Tua. Year before that, he wasn't terrible. But I also don't want to like trick ourselves into expecting more from Ryan Fitzpatrick than we should, because there's a reason that he is the player that he is. And it's, I don't know, like he'll definitely be more aggressive than Alex Smith, and he'll definitely operate the offense better. But I kind of feel like for Ryan Fitzpatrick, there's a little bit of over expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you think so?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give you a list: Kirk Cousins,
mm-hmm.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mark Brunell. Those were I would say during my lifetime, the best court. I mean, then Robert, the sensational 1 year that he had.
Yeah.
I would put him number 4 because it was just 1 year. His body of work isn't as Mark Brunell's or Kirk Cousins or Ryan Fitzpatrick for that matter. But you got to think this is arguably, the best quarterback we've had since Kirk.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, how much better is Kirk than Fitzpatrick? What do you?
Is it remarkably better? It's tough to say because, like, you look back at Ryan Fitzpatrick's career, and it's like kind of tough sometimes to pinpoint exactly. Like, he was always in a position, not always, but most times he's been in a position where he's not entrenched as the starter for a long time.
Right.
I think the last time was the Jets that 1 year in 2015, and then the Bills before that.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, Kirk Cousins is better. Because
I agree.
He's more consistent.
So that's what I'm saying. I think he's arguably the best quarterback we've had since I've been a fan. Maybe. You
think he's better than Brunell?
About the same.
And that's the thing. If he plays like Brunell did, then sure, you're a solid team.
Yeah.
I just wonder if he's going to play that well, or if the turnover issue is going to offset some of what he's going to provide offensively. And it's like like players can get better, but he's been in the league for like 16 years. I mean,
Right.
I know he's probably gotten better than his early years. I remember when he got his payday with the Bills, and like they took a chance on him, and I think he was there for maybe 3 years, and that was his real legit, like that was it. That was when he earned it and he got it, and he just wasn't. But then also the Bills, I realized that they weren't a great team, but then also if he was better, then maybe they would have been a better team. I don't know. It's just, I think because before, okay, well, when we were talking about quarterbacks, like before free agency in the draft, like Ryan Fitzpatrick was not on our radar. He was not on our list. We did not want Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then when we got him, it was like, we started looking at him and you say, oh, okay, I'm kind of excited about this. I like this. But we didn't want him at all.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe we were wrong for not wanting. And like, I'm willing to give Ron Rivera the benefit of the doubt. And they've made good moves. They've brought in good players. We saw that last year with Logan Thomas and with J.D. McKissick. But I kind of just don't want. I guess I just want there to be like an understanding across the board that this Ryan Fitzpatrick thing could go terribly wrong. Right. It could. He could get benched. He could struggle. He could not, like, he could have a couple really good games and then a couple really bad ones. Like, it's definitely possible. And if it happens, I don't want people to be surprised. Like, we shouldn't be. But I'm worried that people would be.
So would you say that we're in a better situation? Obviously, you think of looking back at it, I'm glad we did sign him because now we have another year. I mean, obviously you want your quarterback, right away, but you kind of get to see what Heineke has.
Yeah.
It puts you in a position to see, okay, well, let's see if Heineke is really, really the real deal. And then next year, you're just free game to get whoever you need to get. Because I think if you get Darnold, you're kind of locked into that for about 2 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Minshew, same thing, and the other guys we were looking at. So I think this was the best. Yeah, Mariota stuff. You kind of have to keep it going. With Fitzpatrick, you already know what it is. He already know what it is. So it's like it's no awkwardness. It's
right.
It's what expected.
I agree with that.
So I think he gives your receivers a chance to develop, as opposed to Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins and the rest of those guys. Oh, Heineke, as you can see, Heineke, that's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think Fitzpatrick is. We never had a gunslinger really. I mean, Kirk was semi-gunslinger, but
I wouldn't. Yeah, Kirk was. I wouldn't call him a gunslinger. But he wasn't shy, but he wasn't this. Like, and you're right. We kind of haven't really had a gunslinger.
Yeah, we haven't.
And so, look, I'm not saying not to get excited for the season. Like by all means, there is cause to be excited because this is probably the deepest roster. I don't think it's the most top-heavy roster. We're getting there. It probably is the most top-heavy roster, actually. It just needs to get even more top-heavy to become Super Bowl contenders. But it's also deep. But I guess I just want – like if they go 7 and – I said 7 and 9, I think earlier. If they go 7 and 10 or like 6 and 11 or 8 and 9, I guess I wouldn't be surprised personally. I wouldn't be. I really don't know that I'm not super confident that they will for sure take a big step forward just because we've seen things change on paper and improve on paper and then it doesn't translate to the field. I know if they won 7, I guess, and my rationale is they won 7 games last year. This is kind of everybody's. They won 7 last year with Dwayne Haskins at quarterback and all that stuff. So why couldn't they win more this year? But then I point to the 7 games that they won last year, and I say they did win them. They earned them, but they weren't the most challenging 7 wins, in terms of who they're playing against. And so it's just I want to see them be able to beat the good teams. Not all of them, just some of them. And I'm not saying that they can't. I'm just saying I need to see them do it because last year they did it. That's basically what it is.
Pittsburgh was
They did beat Pittsburgh. They did. That was their one.
And that carries over. That
it does.
Hey, you can.
It does.
And they came close against Tampa. I mean, although the defense played bad, they was really close against Tampa.
They definitely could have. They definitely could have
beat Tampa. They played Tampa the hardest out of almost every team.
If they could have caught like one lucky break against Tampa, maybe they could have.
It would have been crazy too.
And I mean, as well as Taylor Heineke played, you throw on the film and you can see the opportunities that he missed too. I mean, even on that last drive, if he had done things a little differently, like he could have been even better.
Yeah.
So.
That was a crazy game.
Yeah, that was I was that was a fun game.
That was so fun.
So I don't know. I guess I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that because you hear all these people, claiming them to win the division, and I'm not saying that I don't think they can win the division. The division's not that good, so they absolutely could win the division. I think 9 games wins. I think 9, maybe 10. Like I think 10 for sure wins the division. I think 9 probably wins the division. Maybe with the tiebreaker. But this year, sure, if you win the division again, that's great because you have to win the division. But after that, the winning the division is nice, but all right, let's get past that. Like, I want to win the games after winning the division. Like for now, if we win the division and then we don't do anything in the playoffs, it's kind of like, okay, cool, we had another good year. That's kind of what we've gotten used to, is like, because we don't even do that much. So when we do that, that's like a successful season.
Yeah.
But I kind of want that to start becoming an unsuccessful season. I want us to start winning the 4 games that come after winning the division, because then those are the ones that really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that's what Ron said. He said first you gotta learn how to take over your division.
Right.
That was the first step we took last year. We hope, and that's what like you said. That's what I want, consistency. That Washington's gonna win the division.
Exactly.
Like the Chiefs are gonna win the division.
Right. Exactly. There's no we're just trying to get really second place. Honestly, yes. We're just trying to get in the wild card because we know we're not going to win the division. Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's the goal, and like they're definitely trending in the right direction. They just got to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. But it's just so much hype, and it's kind of been a while. I don't know. Was it 2018? Maybe was there hype like that in 2018 or not? I don't remember. It was honestly probably 13 or 16, either after RG3's first year, after Kirk's first year. I can't remember. Probably Kirk's, where it was Kirk, yeah. Like hype, like okay, Washington's the favorite. I get nervous when there's hype because in the past, anytime they start getting talked about, and now that was a different team name. Those were the Redskins. Those were under Jay Gruden and Mike Shanahan and Bruce Allen. And I'm trying to let all that go because they're not the Redskins anymore and those people are gone. But it's still, I have PTSD. I'm trying to let it go. But I get worried anytime they start getting talked about. Because to me, when they're under the radar is when they kind of start doing stuff like last year. And then when they start getting talked about, that's when stuff starts to fall apart. Yeah. But I'm trying to leave it in the past. This year will determine, though, whether or not I should leave it in the past. Because if they do it this year, I'm going to be like, I told you.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Yeah, I mean, if they live up to the hype, that's incredible. I just don't remember a time when they have. Do you?
No.
Okay, so I hope this is the time.
Every time they won the division, it's never been expected. It's always been like, oh my goodness, again,
Exactly. 100%. I mean, and it's always had to happen on a winning streak at the end of the season.
Yeah, always.
Like, I don't remember 05 exactly. They went 10-6. Maybe that was one that was a little more balanced. 07 was the Kerry Collins year. They had to win, 4 straight? 12 was 7 straight.
7 straight, yeah.
15, they went, 9-7? I don't remember how many they had to win at the end of the year.
I don't remember either.
And then last year, they were 2-7. So exactly, and that's
7. That's crazy.
You made a great point. I would like for them to win the division and not be, 3-7 after 10 games. I want them to be like 6-4, 7-3.
Yeah.
I want them to be the favorites throughout the whole season.
Actually, the one year when Alex started,
2018,
6-2.
They were 6-3. And playing the Titans. I mean, not the Titans, the Texans. That was a tight game. Could have been 7-3.
That was crazy. See, something like that. That's what I want. Like comfortable,
Exactly. And I mean, like, I know their schedule is tough, but I mean, like again, if you have your success beating like the guys that they beat last year, then you get to the playoffs. So like their schedule is tough, but I mean, it is what it is. You got to play who you have to play.
Gotcha.
So now let's just go out there and do it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I like the hype, but it just makes me nervous, and I just want to make sure it's not getting out of hand because they won a division last year at 7-9, beating these quarterbacks, and the other teams in the division went 6-10. I just want to. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know. We'll just have to. I mean, obviously, we'll just have to see what happens. I'm just gonna keep worrying about this until the season comes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think I don't know. I'm feeling like I think you got to go improve this year. I
Yeah.
think they're going to improve. I think the roster's been, gotten better, drastically better. So
Where do you think? Where do you think they've improved the most on the roster?
I would say receive offense,
Yeah, I was going to say receiver because that was
offense.
their worst position. So
Yeah, and then you got to think another year in the system.
yeah,
Gibson's going to get better. Terry's
right.
going to get better, and and that's why I think they're going to. And then Scott Turner,
Yeah,
another year coordinating.
yeah. Scott, man, Scott is like it's tough, man, because what he was working with last year was terrible. It was
Terrible,
really
bro.
terrible. It was like the worst in the NFL. And so I know people were killing him and they didn't like some play call stuff here and there, but I mean, look at what he was working with. I mean, golly.
But some games, man, you could just see
Some
some of the
games you could just feel he was in rhythm when
Cowboys game Thanksgiving.
yeah, exactly. So and I mean, even when he had guys who could operate like Alex Smith, he is operating the offense in a way that worked, but it still wasn't the way that he wanted, that
Exactly.
Scott Turner wanted. And so, I mean, yeah, like okay. So on the flip side, like I can see the other side of it. Dwayne Haskins was terrible for
Hmm.
6 games. He was
Hmm.
actually for 6.5 games. He was terrible. He almost gave away the
Yeah.
49ers game. Alex Smith was really just bad to okay. Kind of
Hmm.
people give him more credit than he deserved. Like you won some games and the defense really helped you out, but Alex Smith was not good. He was
Hmm.
okay, bad,
Manageable.
manageable.
Yeah.
And he still wasn't operating the offense. I mean, he improved the offense
Yeah. Yeah.
dramatically, and he
Yeah.
wasn't operating it at the
Hmm.
level that we needed, still with the same position group. And then you look at the wide receivers. It was Terry McLaurin, and then it was Cam Sims, who was an okay player, but he shouldn't be your number two. Steven Sims, who was really struggling last year and who was hurt for lots of the year. Isaiah Wright, who's a rookie and really not a good receiver. He can maybe do some stuff as a gadget player.
Hmm.
Gandy Golden, really good, not very good. Logan Thomas was coming along. He got better as the
Hmm.
year went on. Logan Thomas was not that good when the season started.
No, he wasn't.
Antonio Gibson was learning how to be a running back. He
Yeah.
wasn't great when the season started.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the offensive line, you had Jerron Christian and Wes Martin starting on the left side, and they weren't good. And so
Yeah.
you can see when they started, you started with Dontrell Inman as your number two, Dwayne Haskins as your receiver, a rookie wide receiver converted running back, a quarterback converted tight end,
Yeah.
Jerron Christian, and Wes Martin.
Crazy.
And then it got better when guys improved, when you made changes.
Yeah.
And then on the defensive side, I mean, the offense was terrible, so that didn't help. They were still learning the system. Like the defense was kind of learning the one gap scheme versus what they were used to. Cameron Curl was coming into his own, all that stuff. And then as the season went on, guys got better, things were changed, and they improved. And then you look at it this year, not only off of what they did last year, they added William Jackson, they added Bobby McCain, they added Jamin Davis, they added Ryan Fitzpatrick. Their offensive line was better. They added Charles Leonard, they added Sam Cosmi, they added Curtis Samuel, they added Adam Humphries, they added John Bates, they added. So you can see all the players that they've added and all the players that improved last year. And then from there, I can see why you'd say they won 7 games last year.
Yeah.
They really won, 5 of their last 8,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or they were 2-7, so 5 of their last 7, right? They were 2-7, so 5 of their last 7. They went 5-2, and then this year they should improve. I can see that side too, and so I hope that that's the side that shines brighter than the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
I think Los Angeles Chargers. I think that game is going to be a statement game. I think they're going to come out balling.
I would love it. I would love it. Like, I would love if they would come out and just like blow somebody out week 1. They always have their one blowout game of the year where one game every year they blow somebody out. Let's get a couple this year. Start it off and then keep doing it, keep it going.
Yes.
So that's pretty much it. I don't know. You guys can say in the comments if you're watching and want to say what you think. I think there's some people who kind of feel the same way. Some people who say no. But I hope that if they get 9 wins, I'm more than content. Just build because I mean, I think
next year, a quarterback.
Exactly, and I think people underestimate that quarterback is worth. I think 3, 4, sometimes 5, 6 wins, for sure. Like especially when they have their MVP seasons and they're just on fire, like Lamar Jackson and Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers. They're probably worth 6, 7 wins. So. I mean, I don't know, however many, but they're worth the number of wins that make a difference. Yeah. So if you get that quarterback, good to go. All right. Well, I appreciate
that quarterback, whoever it is going to have a plethora of weapons I mean, you got to think Gibby's going to be in his prime, Terry in his prime.
Yep. If Jamie Brown comes along, Curtis Samuel,
oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, plug and play.
And
whoever
then the
that
defense
is
going to be phenomenal. Oh my goodness.
Right now, my guy is Matt Corral, who I think that could have a big year and will not be one of the first 2 taken. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be fun watching the college season this year.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, man. Another year. But I guess it makes it more interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're listening, we really appreciate your support. Just 2 guys. And so it's kind of crazy that you guys like to hear our thoughts on things, and so we really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting us, and we'll be back soon talking about something else or doing something else. This is Todd.
This is Tate.